let's see. Hello, Gail. You made it over first. Okay, let me get a graphic on here because I shut off the freaking Zoom. What do we have here? What is this? Let's talk about this. What the freak is this about? I don't know. They're talking about Gary Coleman's wife. When did Gary Coleman die? Let me see this. Gary Coleman's wife failed a polygraph test about Gary Coleman's suspicious 2010 death. 2010. Oh my gosh. And I guess they're talking about it because there was A&E lie detector, truth or deception, features Coleman's ex-wife Shannon Price. She was married to Gary Coleman from 2007 to 2008. Now, in January, according to TMZ, we know how, right? TMZ is reporting the goods. Price underwent a lie detector test regarding Gary Coleman. He died of a fall 15 years earlier. Despite their divorce, he was in a partnership with Price until his death at age 42. During the soon-to-air episode, former FBI agent George Olivo, what's wrong with me? I don't know. Told Price that she failed two crucial questions regarding Gary Coleman's death, which was ruled accidental. The polygraph test ended and said that Shannon Price was deceptive about whether she physically caused Gary Coleman's fatal fall. Two other questions posed to her about whether she struck Coleman during their relationship and if she withheld medical attention to Coleman after his fall were ruled inconclusive. She disagreed with the results. She said that Gary Coleman could talk after his injury and he never implicated her. He never fell down the stairs, any stairs, none. So this narrative about me pushing him down the stairs is just BS. I found him in the kitchen. When the police came and the EMTs came, he was still in the kitchen. What I think happened was we have a kitchen island, and I think he had hit and fell. Hit and fell. He had a hit and fell. What? Shannon Price removed Coleman from life support 2 days after the incident. Over the years, she has faced criticism and suspicion, and she was heard in the 911 call telling the dispatcher she can't deal with helping Coleman because she was covered in blood. She can't deal with helping Coleman because she was covered in blood. We were extremely disappointed with the overall experience of both the polygraph testing and the dealing with A&E. Many promises, this is her statement. Many promises were made and not kept. The testing situation was unfair and very uncomfortable, and the testing was performed non-verbally, which I should have refused. From the beginning, it was apparent they cared more about ratings than finding the truth. All right. That lady that was eating poisoning people with mushrooms, Erin Patterson, she found out what was her fate there. Inside the mushroom killer, Erin Patterson. Let me get her picture up there, okay? Okay, here's a courtroom rendering. There we go. So the Australian woman who has been found guilty of the 2023 murders of her sister and her in-laws after serving them lunch, which was a beef Wellington, laced with poisonous mushrooms. The jury at the Supreme Court of Victoria convicted 50-year-old Erin Patterson of murder Monday following 6 days of deliberation and a 10-week trial. The incident happened July 29, 2023. I remember talking with Deborah about that. The defendant's home in Leongatha, Victoria, after she invited the victims Don Patterson, 70, Gail Patterson, 70, and Heather Wilkinson, 66, to lunch. Patterson's husband, Ian, also became ill after the lunch, but he survived after months of hospital treatment. Patterson claimed innocence, telling investigators that she served the guests a beef Wellington with fresh mushrooms she bought at a supermarket, along with dried mushrooms that she had purchased at an Asian store in Melbourne. Her defense team called the incident a terrible accident that happened when she tried to make the meat taste better with the mushroom mixture. Patterson said she then panicked and lied to investigators. The prosecution, however, said that 4 calculated deceptions during the case, with the first being a fabricated cancer claim she used as a pretense for the lunch invitation. The second deception was lethal doses of poison that the accused secreted in the home-cooked beef Wellington. The third was her attempt to make it seem that she also suffered death cap mushroom poisoning. And the fourth deception, the sustained cover-up she embarked upon to conceal the truth. Prosecutors added that Patterson bought, then disposed of, a dehydrator she used to cook the lunch. Investigators recovered the dehydrator and found traces of the deadly mushroom inside. She also reset her phone to their factory settings to delete evidence. The BBC reported that investigators recovered deleted evidence from Patterson's phone and determined that she had searched the iNaturalist website for death cap mushroom sightings. Cell phone data showed that she traveled to nearby locations that contained the mushrooms before buying the dehydrator. Further, forensic experts found images on Patterson's phone that appeared to be the mushrooms on weight scales. Although no motive was ever proven, the jury decided the prosecution provided enough evidence to convict her on 3 counts of murder. She was also convicted of attempted murder for poisoning her husband. And they say that an Arkansas woman got struck by lightning going to her car, and she's very lucky to be alive, and it's really horrendous. And I told you, the lightning is really, really different this year, guys. It's really different. Be very careful. I would never be on that beach again with Sandy. I would be like inside the house. We're so lucky we weren't killed. Okay, and then we have a paddleboarder in Maine who was found dead on July 3rd. Now, this is the second one because this seems different. Sunshine Stewart, pictured there, went paddleboarding on Crawford Pond, a peaceful, wooded, expanse of water in Union near coastal Maine. When she didn't return hours later, someone reported her missing. Early the next morning, authorities say they found her body near a 100-acre island, a nature preserve in the middle of the pond. An autopsy later that day determined the 48-year-old woman's death was a homicide. 9 days later, there have been no arrests. Maine police say they are warning the community to stay vigilant, but they have not divulged the cause of death or any details about the crime scene, leaving her family with questions and nearby residents with fears that a killer may be among them. I think it's just confusing because we don't know what happened, like if this was an isolated incident or a personal thing, like a grudge, said a resident, Gus Williams. Williams, who lives near Crawford Pond, added, "It's a place where most people don't even lock their doors, like ever. It definitely feels just intrusive. I don't know. Terrifying," he said. Stewart, known as Sonny, left the campground on the north shore of the pond about 6 p.m. alone on July 2nd to go paddleboarding. The 600-acre pond is surrounded by private property, and it's home to loons and smallmouth bass and other aquatic life. Sheriff deputies, firefighters, and other law enforcement found her body sometime after 1 a.m. on July 3rd. They alerted the Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit because of the circumstances, without going into further detail. I thought they had the person that did this. The Maine State Police recognize the fear and discomfort that this incident has brought to the town of Union and the Crawford Pine community. They understand the community's concerns, and they're asking residents to continue to remain vigilant, be aware of their surroundings, and report suspicious activity to law enforcement. Their detectives and investigators are going over the forensic leads and any information submitted through the tip line. Stewart was a resident of Tennant's Harbor, which is a neighborhood in the town of St. George on the Maine coast, about 20 miles from Crawford Pond. Sonny loved the outdoors, hiking, boating, paddleboarding, and yoga. To know Sonny is an amazing blessing. My sister and my best friend, the aunt that stepped up to help me raise her nephews, said her sister. Anyone blessed to be in her presence was in awe of her, her strength, courage, character, her energy, and her light. She looks like that. She looks like somebody I know. Her life was not an easy one, but she strode through it, head held high, head up, not head down. One of the many reasons we admired and loved and appreciated her, one of the hardest things I have ever written was the text I sent to my son. Sunshine was murdered. Meanwhile, law enforcement remains tight-lipped about the evidence they've collected. Additional information will be released when it's appropriate to do so. Investigators are asking anyone who saw Stewart paddling on the evening of July 2nd to reach out to the Maine State Police. I thought they found her killer, though maybe that's the jet ski one I'm thinking of. 207, ouch, 624-7076. Okay. Shame. Oh, and what about the kids that die in those tunnels and then on the sand and the beach every year, right? This one 17-year-old boy, unbelievable. So sad. He died in Italy. Building a hole, those holes in the beach, and you don't realize how dangerous they are. They would just collapse right on you. You have to be so careful. Don't do it, kids. Don't do it. It's not fun. It's not safe. Anyway, the 17-year-old boy was killed after a sand tunnel he was digging abruptly collapsed and had buried him alive. The teen, identified as Riccardo Boni by several Italian media outlets, was vacationing in Montalto di Castro in Italy with his family when the incident occurred July 10th. Boni's family was staying at a resort approximately 70 miles north of Rome. The collapse happened around 3 p.m. local time when he was on the beach with his father and his siblings. What a terrible thing, right? They go away. Oh my gosh. So happy, and then the worst. Ricardo Bono and his younger siblings had moved closer to the shoreline, where they began digging a large hole that was reportedly nearly 5 feet deep in a more secluded area of the beach, and meanwhile their father was nearby, dozing off under a beach umbrella. Suddenly the walls of the tunnel gave way, trapping the team below the sand. The boy remained buried until his father woke up and realized his oldest son was missing. One of the brothers cried out, "Ricardo is under the sand." His siblings pointed to the location of the collapsed tunnel, prompting the father and nearby beachgoers to rush over and frantically dig in search of him. Tragically, the boy was found, buried in the sand, unresponsive, showing no signs of life. First responders arrived within minutes, including an air ambulance, working to revive him, but it was too late. The boy could not be saved. No one realized what had happened. That's so sad. They lost a lot of time because they couldn't see him, and when they realized he was missing, they began to look for him, but it was too late. A witness on the beach said that no one on the beach had heard the teenager screaming because he was completely buried within minutes. Police investigation has been opened against persons unknown in connection with the fatal accident. I have spoken to colleagues, and we have never heard of anything like this happening before in Italy. We deal with terrible situations all the time, but we can't imagine how a game on the beach ended up this way. But it does to kids. It's so dangerous. And think about all the movies and everything you see where the people want to be buried in the sand, and people would say, "Ugh," and it's so dangerous. Don't do it. There should be signs all over beaches. Now, there's a new documentary about Idaho 4. And, I didn't even check my Mommy Ramblings. I was supposed to have a link to a preview of it before it came out, and I haven't even checked my Mommy Ramblings email. My goodness. Okay. Hold on. Get an image up there, please. Okay. So, friends of the two roommates who were home at the time 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their off-campus home explained why the surviving roommates didn't immediately call 911 in this new documentary, One Night in Idaho. It's a Prime Video docuseries premiered on July 11th. Features interviews with family members and friends of the 4 victims, including Hunter Johnson, Emily Allant, Josie Lotern. 3 friends of the victim shared how they were called to the house hours after the murders by Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funke, who lived at the residence and were home during the time of the murders. Officials have said the murders took place between 4 a.m. and 4:20 on November 13th, and a 911 call came in around 11:58 a.m. that morning, almost noon. I think it's very important for everyone to know that what if doesn't matter, because if they had known what was going on, it would have been too late anyway, Allant said, speaking about Mortensen and Funke in the documentary. Johnson, Allant's boyfriend, said that when he woke up in the morning on November 13th, 2022, it started off like a normal day. He explained he slept over at Allant's apartment, which was down the road from the home where the college students were found dead. Alana explained that Mortensen, one of the surviving roommates, had called her asking them to come over. She was like, "Something weird happened last night. I don't know if I'm dreaming or not, but I'm really scared. Can you come over and check out the house?" Mortensen told her that she was in the basement with her other roommate, Bethany Funky, and that they had called Kernettle a few times, but she wasn't answering. I was like, haha, sure, should I bring my pepper spray? Not thinking anything of it, Alon said. Alon's roommate, Ture, said Mortensen had called them to come over before when she had heard weird noises. She called us before and been like, oh, I'm scared. Can you bring your boyfriends over? But it was never anything serious. It was always like a pan fell. Like actually nothing because it's Moscow. Alan said she didn't think of the request as urgent, so they started walking to the house. And when they got there, Dylan and Bethany had exited the house. They looked frightened, just kind of like hands on their mouth. Like, I don't know what's going on type of thing. And she said when she was going up the stairs, Hunter Johnson was already in the house. We were just a bit behind. As soon as I stepped into the house, I was like, oh, something is so not right. Like you could just feel it almost. Once she entered the home, she was quickly pushed out. Johnson told them to call 911 after he saw what was upstairs. Hunter had enough courage to tell them to call the police for not a real reason. He worded it very nicely. He said, tell them there's an unconscious person. Hunter saved all of us extreme trauma by not letting us know anything. Mortensen was the one who called 911, Laterne said. And she said she had to take the phone from her because she was completely hysterical. They were like, what is the address? What is the address? And I was like, 1122 King Road. I think that's when Hunter looked at me and he was shaking his head. And he was like, they didn't have a pulse. And I mean, even when he said they had no pulse, I still was like, oh, the paramedics are going to come and revive them. Mortensen and Funky did not participate in the documentary and did not immediately respond for any comments. Mortensen told investigators that she woke up at 4 a.m. when she heard a noise from upstairs, according to a probable cause affidavit that was released in 2023. She later opened her bedroom door and saw a man with bushy eyebrows walking toward a sliding glass door in the home and locked herself in the room after seeing the man. But I thought she just said she was downstairs. I don't know. Text messages and phone call records between the roommates on the night of the murders were released in court earlier this year, and they showed Mortensen later that's when she went to Funky's room in the basement at the home around 4:20. Right after that? That's confusing because the murders happened before 4:20. I thought the whole thing was that she closed the door and just locked herself in the room. I don't know. The three friends in the docuseries cited shock and trauma response as reasons why it took hours for the call to be placed. It wasn't until the morning that Mortensen realized that there couldn't have been a dream, and that's when I got my phone call from her. Okay. So, that really doesn't tell us too much of anything, right? Not too much. Five bottled water brands. Most likely to have microplastics. Nestle Pure Life, Aquafina, Dasani, San Pellegrino. Oh boy. Wouldn't it be any bottled water that's in a plastic bottle? Right? In any plastic bottle, isn't it? Come on. Stop. Just cut it out. It's going to be water in any plastic bottle. It's going to have microplastics. Okay. Okay, let's see here now. Let me see what's going on over here. Lightning and a hurricane. Hi, Grateful Pez. How are you? Are you grateful for Pez? Wait a second, darling. Oh, lightning and a hurricane. Hi, Grateful. Okay, no, I wanted to make sure. You're listening from the tub. Okay. So, yeah. And Grateful Pez, how are you? I don't know what's going on with my... Something's going on with my chat. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Let me refresh this, okay? Hang on tight for 1 second because I can't move it. Hi, it's just me. Hi, it's just me. Okay, let's go back now. Back. Okay. LaCroix Seltzer contains PFAS according to consumers' testing. Those are chemicals associated with cancer and immune system problems. The vague natural flavors label provides convenient cover for the ingredients. Be careful on that LaCroix. That's scary. And then even Polar Seltzer. What is that? Aggressive? Bubbles may be doing more. Polar Seltzer's intense carbonation can trigger uncomfortable bloating and digestive issues. Okay. So now they say they have chemicals too. Great. Canada Dry seltzer water. Sodium bomb in disguise. Salt doesn't belong in your water, but Canada Dry sparkling seltzer sneaks up to 100 milligrams of sodium per serving. Wow. Let me see. What the heck? What the heck? Why is there sodium in there? There's no sodium in LaCroix, but they're saying there's chemicals now. Well, that's not going to be buying any more LaCroix. Let's see. Even Perrier. Oh my gosh. What do they have wrong with that? Contains citric acid that oh my gosh, and they have that PFAS in it too. Get out of here. Oh my goodness, the AHA sparkling. Isn't that the AHA? I don't remember the AHA. Did that used to be called something else? Remember bubbly? Was it AHA? I don't remember it being called AHA. AHA has the PFAS as well. This is crappy. Bubbly has the PFAS too. Voss has the citric acid and can include 90 milligrams of sodium. That sucks. Sorry. Hold on, yeah, that's 11 out of 11. So just about every carbonated water, Scooter, you got to stop it. You drink too much of it. See? Here I am guzzling down a can. 2 cans. I come on. Severe weather is headed for 5 states. Now it says glass bottles may leak up to 50 times more microplastics. Get out of here! Oh my gosh. Doctors discover a prescription drug taken by thousands that increases risk of devastating birth defects. What? What is that? Okay, it says UTIs, infections which affect the tube or urine exits the body, are particularly common in pregnant women. They're considered serious infections for expectant moms, and they can cause devastating consequences for both women and babies. But now experts have found that an antibiotic medics prescribe to clear UTIs could have health complications of its own, called trimethoprim. Researchers found the risk of birth defects in the women taking the drug in their first trimester was 26.9 per thousand infants, and that translated to 1 out of every 145 patients having a baby with a congenital anomaly that they would not otherwise, I guess. Such defects included severe heart malformations and cleft lip and palates. Careful if you have a UTI and you're pregnant. Fridge cigarette is Gen Z's new diet. What? Zucchini poisoning is real? What? Plane touches down too short. Great. Travel warning issued for family vacationers headed to Cancun. Keeping a water bottle in the car can be dangerous. Yes, we know that. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay, let's see here. Man makes a creepy discovery. Creepy. In Washington. Mr. Mike Washington. All right, so it says Kevin Ewing, isn't he from Dallas? Found a severed human big toe, among other items, when he was walking along a beach in Washington with his family. They were celebrating Father's Day at a Washington beach when he came across something very creepy. While walking down Dash Point Beach at Dash Point State Park with his wife and his 2 kids on June 15th, Kevin Ewing discovered a box that resembled a Christmas package. At the time, Ewing was walking ahead of his family in search of feathers. Oh, he's searching for feathers on the beach. He said when he spotted the box wrapped in a green cloth with a yellow string tied around it, Ewing, who has Native American ancestry, said he believed it could have been a prayer bundle or some type of message in a bottle, so he opened the box, and that's when he found the severed human toe, among other items, including inside the green cloth was a pine box shut with tape containing a pocket knife, a feather, grass, sage, lavender, tobacco, and a rag, which wrapped around the dismembered big toe. I set the box down on the ground. I used my knife to pick the rag up and open it, and it was a severed human big toe that was in there. At first, I was very shocked, and it took me a few minutes to kind of be like, is this what I think this is? Then once it dawned on me that was it, that was what it was, I set everything down, Did you get hand sanitizer, really? It was really creepy. I felt like it was something you would see in a horror movie. Near the boxed toe was a seagull, which Hewing said appeared to have been skinned and mutilated. Oh my goodness. He said it was unclear if the two discoveries were related. A lot of things are going through my head, like where's the rest of the body? Did this wash in from the tide, from the water? Did somebody leave this here intentionally to be found? And after the discovery, he got in touch with the park ranger. Officials took over the investigation. Trooper Rick Johnson said the toe was transported to the King County Medical Examiner's office for a DNA match, and officials are trying to cross-reference any potential cases related to the severed toe. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That's not what you want to find, right? Right. I'm tired now. Chilling note found in teen's room after mom and 8-year-old shot. It's a murder story. What? Okay, let's see what this is about. Jessica Lyman and her 8-year-old son, Eli. Poor kid. Jessica Lyman's 15-year-old son sent her a barrage of hateful texts in the days before she and her 8-year-old son were found, shot dead, and in his bedroom. Investigators found a handwritten note that said, "This is a murder story." Although a suspect has not yet been named publicly, new unsealed warrants filed on April 18th and obtained are shedding light on the March 28th double homicide of the mother of three, Lyman, 44, and her son, Eli Painter, in their Saratoga Springs, Utah home. I wonder if they were Mormon. Police responded to the home on Willowbrook Lane after Lyman's 17-year-old daughter reported that she found the two victims laying on the floor, unconscious, covered in blood. The 8-year-old had been shot twice with a small caliber round in the head while was pronounced dead at the scene. Lyman, found in critical condition behind her son with her pants and underwear pulled around her knees, showed initial signs of life, but died of her injuries 2 days later at a nearby hospital. This looks like a Mormon house that I saw. There was a murder-suicide. Lyman's 15-year-old son allegedly said that he had been up late the previous night. He was taking a nap and he didn't hear anything. When an officer asked if there were weapons in the home, the boy allegedly said he wasn't aware of any. At that point, the boy had not been told that the incident involved a gun. A search of the scene with an alternate light source showed dry genetic material on the sheets adjacent to where Jessica had been lying. A doctor at the Utah Valley Regional Medical Center allegedly told police he found suspicious genetic material on Lyman in the hospital. While executing the warrant, detectives found intimate articles of Lyman's clothing in her 15-year-old son's room. Along with the ominous note, investigators found 2 BB gun pistols plate carriers, magazine pouches, other than BB gun. However, no weapons were recovered in the home. The handwritten note allegedly referenced several forms of forensic testing. Let's see. Forensic download of Lyman's phone revealed a slur of vitriolic text sent by her son in the weeks before she was shot. "Do you know how insignificant you are to my life?" one read. "I wish I died on your stomach," read another. Lyman's immediate family wrote that their lives are changed forever. They said, "While we continue to wait for answers, we remain hopeful that justice will be served and those responsible will be held accountable. We miss Jessica and Eli every single moment of every single day. When we are together as a family, we can't help but feel incomplete. We miss their smiles, laughter, their joyful spirits. And please continue to keep our family and everyone affected by this senseless tragedy in your thoughts and prayers." If you have any information that could help move the case forward, call the police. Let's see. Then there's on July 7th, there was recently unsealed. Okay, so now they have some more stuff on this. Let's see what they've got now. Oh my goodness. Newly unsealed warrants detail a series of increasingly aggressive messages the 15-year-old allegedly sent his mother. Like this: "F off. H. I don't like you. Go away. Leave me the F alone. Shut the F up, please. Do you need to learn how to shut your mouth? I'm more happy when you're not around. Shut the F up. Can't hear you. Womp womp. You're so effing mentally ill. Shut up, witch. Do you know how insignificant you are in my life? Very insignificant." All these from the son. Then it said, "I wish I died in your stomach. Wouldn't have to put up with you." Wow. Sex toys and lubricant were found in both Lyman and her teen son's bedroom. One black fishnet stocking was found in Lyman's room and the other in her teen son's. Also in the 15-year-old bedroom, officers recovered a range of items from multiple masks, plate carriers, to the BB guns I told you about. Surveillance footage from a neighbor captured a person in a white mask, which resembles one of the masks found in the 15-year-old's room. No arrests have been made, and police have not publicly named a suspect. That sounds weird. Really weird. Really strange. Very strange. Crazy. Okay, so you're getting stressed. Why are you getting stressed? What's the matter? Al sent one text. I did not sound like her. It's Al. I'm telling you, it's Al. Stop it. You're not calling the police. Cut it out. What is going on? Video? Stop. She might be sleeping. Chill. Take a chill pill, video. She's fine. I talked to her. Sandy talked to her today. Sandy talked to her for at length today. And I talked to her twice today. She's probably sleeping, video. It's 2:17. Maybe she took something to help her sleep and she zonked out. Oh my goodness. She's okay. Yeah, chill, video. She's fine. I just talked to her about an hour ago. She's probably sleeping. She takes something to help her sleep at night. Sandy talked to her, and I have had contact with her a couple times today. Recently, about an hour ago, I think, or 2 hours, whatever it was. It's fine. She takes something to help her sleep at night, video. my goodness. Video. She's fine. She takes something to help her sleep. I'm telling you. Okay? She's fine. All right, good. Whew. All right, let's do the word cookie. Oh my goodness, what happened to the word cookie? Oh, I need some protein bar. Come here. Come here, Mr. Protein Bar. I need you. Video, take a rest. Have a good night. We'll see you later. Okay. Okay, Captain Lee, get some rest. Orange. Video's like on, I think Video's had too much coffee tonight. Oh, airway. Very good, Mary Cross. Oh my gosh, it's 3:20. No, it's 2:22. I feel so tired. I need to take a nappy, snappy. Got all that stuff in my arm today. Oh my gosh. That huge long walk. Guys, I think I'm going to go to bed. I am exhausted. I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. Thank you so much for watching. To go check on Video. He's going out of his mind. All right. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you tomorrow.